The Dallas Mavericks open the season 9-0. Let's find out as the Mavs travel to Boston and opened up an early lead thanks in part to the huge hustle by Michael Finley. A little later in the opening half, Walt Williams trails. He takes the pass, hits the three. Dallas in control, at least early on in this game, but the home team would respond. Paul Pierce feeds Ben Baker for the slam, but Boston still trailed the game by 11. Second half, Celtics try to work their way back in with good ball movement. Tony Delk hits the three. That closes the gap even further, but back came Dallas at the other end. Nash, watch this. The sweet baseline drive. He knocks down the layup. Then it's Michael Finley a little later from long range. Finley's three seals the deal. Dallas goes on to win by 11. They indeed improved to 9-0 on a night that Germany's Dirk Nowitzki scored a season-high 32 points. Jason Kidd certainly would have nothing of it as he dribbles up courts, nails the three-pointer as time expires at the end of the third, nets up 73-67. But in the fourth, here come the Mavs. Germany's Dirk Nowitzki, the long pass to Canada's Steve Nash, and the international combo clicks. Nash, in fact, put up 30 points of the night. Another team held under 100 points, and the Mavs up their record to 10-0. Oh, yes, they are the lone unbeaten team. And have a chance at $1 million prize. And, oh, he didn't disappoint. One more time as Bishop lets loose from half courts, and with the help of the backboard, he nails the shot and comes away a rich man. His form was perfect. It might not have been pretty, but it certainly got the job done. And guess who's laughing all the way to the bank? $1 million and the play of the day.
A regular season game as the Washington Wizards beat Miami. Washington have now won 6 of 7 games. This one wasn't even close. Jordan with a steal. He sets up two-year teenager Kwame Brown. He had a double-double as the Wizards won by a whopping 30 points. Still to come.
Latest to inflict misery on the three-time defending champions, Steve Francis with the layup there. This one was nip and tuck in the fourth quarter. The Lakers, still missing Shaquille O'Neal, of course, hit back through Kobe Bryant with the outside jumper. But as soon as the Rockets got possession, Francis repeated the feat at the other end. They lead 83-79. Now, ever since Ming was given the #1 draft pick, Houston have been waiting for their rocket to take off, and he finally did. 7'6" Chinese star shot 9 for 9 and scored a career-high 20 points in just 23 minutes as he emphatically silenced his NBA critics who've been stifling giggles at his every bad game. What a slam there. Just 13 seconds to go now as Bryant drives but misses the layup. Coutinho Mobley gets the rebound and the foul. He scores them too, so the Rockets lead by 3. And the Lakers just run out of time. Bryant rims out a last gasp three-pointer, and Houston hold on for a breathtaking 93-89 win. Another close one here between Sacramento and Orlando. We've 20 seconds to go with the Kings leading by 5. Pat Burke misses, but Tracy McGrady hits the three-pointer, so Magic are down by 2 points. And off the inbound pass, there's no one open for Sacramento. So Darrell Armstrong steals it, and Burke tips in Mike Miller's shot to send the Magic bench absolutely crazy. There's still 4 seconds to go, though. And the inbound pass finds Chris Webber, who hits the turnaround jumper from 20 feet. It doesn't get any more dramatic than that. The Kings win it by 2.
Is making looks like a big risk. In limited playing time, Yao has often appeared awkward on the court. The Rockets remain patient and hopeful.
It would be easy to say he's going to be a good player, to be a really special player.
Before revolutionizing the game, galvanizing the league, and changing the world, the 22-year-old has a more modest goal. He says he'd like to learn how to drive. Josie Karp, CNN, Houston.
Latrell Sprewell, the Knicks forward guard, back after breaking his hand in the summer. And what a game for a comeback. The Knicks rushed into an early lead against the Detroit Pistons. Allen Houston helping towards an early 14-point lead. It was a great night for Houston, who landed 23 points, and it looked like being a great night for the Knicks, cruising here in the second, up 55-26. But then they inexplicably self-destructed. Detroit back to within 6 points with just a minute to go. Ben Wallace slammed home there. Then Richard Hamilton went end-to-end. He top-scored 31 points on the night. And after 4 straight defeats, the Knicks were really wobbling. There were just 12 seconds left on the clock when Hamilton went untouched down the lane for the dunk. And after leading so handsomely, the Knicks were in front by just a point. But amazingly, they managed to hold on. Clarence Weatherspoon with a big steal as the Knicks nicked it by 3. Across the Hudson in New Jersey, the Nets were mauling one of the best defences in the league. That belonged to Denver. Jason Kidd took most of the plaudits. He scored 13 of 24 points in the first quarter as the Nets opened up a 19-7 lead there. And moments later, the Nuggets turned it over. Kerry Kittles finds Richard Jefferson up court. And he pulls off the 360-degree slam. He got 13 on the night. By the end of the second quarter, the Nets were really running away with it, up 53-29 when Kidd found Kenyon Martin, and he slammed it home for a 26-point lead. And the two combined beautifully again here with Martin to Kidd, Kidd to Martin, who's in for the one-handed alley-oop slam. A very impressive night's work for the Nets, finished in a 99-79 points victory.
Record. However, help is around the corner with superstar centre Shaquille O'Neal apparently fit to play his first game of the season on Friday against the Chicago Bulls after recovering from surgery on his big toe. Minus Shaq, the Lakers took on the San Antonio Spurs on Wednesday night. Lakers by 1 until Stephen Jackson hits the 3 to put San Antonio up 2. And from there, the Spurs brought it home. Stephen Jackson with the 3-pointer. And then he stages a repeat performance as the Spurs took it 95-88.
As the Kings made it 6 out of 6 at the Arco Arena. Sacramento always ahead in the game and soon notched up their 7th straight at the arena. Keon Clark's emphatic slam dunk underlining their superiority. That's it from Sport Today. Thanks for watching.
Boston, Paul Pierce, what a move through the defenders for the hoop and the foul. Celtics off to an early lead. But the Nets turned it up defensively in the opening half. Pierce tries to go to the hoop again, and he is rejected by Richard Jefferson. Little tension brewing here just before halftime. Antoine Walker hits the jumper. Dikembe Mutombo and Vin Baker get into each other's faces. Yeah, that's the bad blood Don referred to just a moment ago, adding a little spice to this Eastern Conference matchup. Celtics go long distance in the second half and connect from all over the court. Tony Delk with a 3-pointer there. Then it's Shamad Williams burying one in Jason Kidd's face. The Celtics are still working late in the period. Williams stealing the ball away from Kidd. He goes the other way for the slam. 21 points for Williams. Boston, indeed, gaining a measure of revenge, at least for a night. When Uviet tattoo 3, 4, 5, he was coming to town with his Philadelphia 76er mates, and the tattooed one was tattooing his opponents. Iverson nailing the 3-pointer from long range. Sixers with a 7-point lead. Tough loss for the Grizzlies. They've had more than a few of tough losses. This one, Jason Williams going down hard on his ankle. He would be helped off the court. Meanwhile, Iverson just popping from all over. 33 for Iverson as Philadelphia hands Memphis their 12th straight loss to start the season. Check out all of Wins.
After Ming's display for the Rockets Thursday night against the unbeaten Dallas Mavericks, there with the rejection on the fast break. He's there with the putback. Second quarter still, Yao Ming gets the loose ball and slams it home. Third quarter now. A slam over Sean Bradley. Yao with 30 points and 16 rebounds in total during the game. Now later in the third, the Mavs take control, however. Michael Finley with a 3-pointer in transition. Into the fourth. And we've got a lot more Mavs. The German Dirk Nowitzki on the end of this move, hitting the jumper off the screen. And the Mavs just kept on rolling. Steve Nash drives down the middle, nails the layup over Yao Ming, who didn't have a good fourth quarter. The Mavs winning 103-90. They're now undefeated in all 12 games this season. To Seattle, where the Sonics went 4 up against the Blazers with the flashy Rashard Lewis slam. Whatever Rashard could do, however, Rashid had an answer to. Wallace on the end of the alley-oop pass, Blazers down 2. Into the 4th, the Sonics still in exhibition mode. Desmond Mason with that jam off the bounce pass from Payton. But the Blazers would take the shine off their performance by sneaking the win. Arvydas Sabonis helping Portland to an 89-85 victory. We've Player of the Day after this short.
Repair the toe, and his rehab assignment meant a delayed start to the new season. Without their all-star center, the 3-time defending champions had struggled through their opening 12 games. The Los Angeles Lakers and their fans would predictably give a rousing welcome to O'Neal, who came off the bench on Friday at home against Chicago. His first basket of the new season, an easy jump hook, and the Lakers were off and running. Little from Kobe Bryant, who certainly has kept or at least tried his best to keep the Lakers ship afloat. Bryant had 21 points on this night. Little more from O'Neal as Brian Shaw finds him underneath for the patented power dunk. And the Lakers now stretch their lead. Down the stretch, Shaq will put it away with authority. Fox to O'Neal. The alley-oop, and Shaq is back. The Lakers win. They certainly hope it is the beginning of a trend. So here are the numbers besides the NBA start as Houston played host to Michael Jordan and the Washington Wizards, and Yao put on a show for his family. Look at the big block underneath. Then at the other end, Yao finishes the alley-oop with a slam. 10 points in the opening quarter, 18 points for Yao in the game. Still in the opening quarter, the Wizards go long distance in order to take a 1-point lead. But just before half, here come the Rockets. Steve Francis to Terrence Morris for the big jam. Second half, more of the same from the home team as Francis this time keeps it himself, drives and slams it down. Rockets' lead is now 11 in the fourth quarter. They seal the deal. Joaquin Hawkins with the big 3. Jordan watches his Wizards lose on the road. Indiana were looking for their 9th straight win on Friday against Orlando, and the Pacers jump out to an early lead. You saw Ron Artest there. How about back-to-back dunks for Artest? 6-0 Pacers out of the blocks. Later in the opening quarter, Pacers lead by 11. Watch Jamal Tinsley steal the ball and head the other way. Ron Mercer finishes with a lay-in and the foul. Pacers build their lead to 13. More stealing from the home side as Mercer takes it away and finishes with the lay-in. There was a little magic in the opening half for Orlando. Off the turnover, Tracy McGrady makes the nice breakaway slam, but the Magic still trailed by 18 in the game. Second half, more from the Pacers off the turnover. Tinsley, watch this sweet pass to Artest. He had 15 points. Pacers are running away. Later, it's Eric Strickland with the nice half-court alley-oop to Fred Jones. Showtime. Indiana wins their franchise record 9th straight with ease. Coach, of course, Don Nelson didn't like the call in the fourth quarter, and he told the referee all about it. Needless to say, Nelly would not see the end of this one, and he missed a good finish by the Mavs. Fourth quarter, Steve Nash finds Dirk Nowitzki on the wing. Nowitzki nails the jumper. Mavericks have their first lead of the game, 87-86. On the fast break, Michael Finley can't get the lay-in to go, but there's Eduardo Najera for the putback. Mavs up 89-86, and then Finley got hot down the stretch. Watch Michael as he pulls up for the jumper from the corner and draws the foul. A little later, it's Finley again, this time from three-point land. Mavs now up their lead, and they'd stay out in front as Finley inbounds to Nash, who dishes to Nowitzki. Nowitzki had 29 points. Dallas wins number 13 in a row. They're 2 wins shy of equaling the best record for the best starts.
Yale was reduced to a meek showing of just 4 points, but this was still a close one. Steve Francis was burning for the Rockets. He landed 31 points on the night. Yale was handy in defense, though. A great block to deny Eric Piatkowski. Clippers up by 11 at this stage, but Houston staged a fight back in the third. Francis gets the inbound pass and lands it for 3 right on the buzzer. They're up by 3. And perhaps with too much attention on Yao, the Clippers took their eye off the ball. Glenn Rice had a season best night for the Rockets with 23 points. But the Clippers just managed to squeak this one. Yao was called for goaltending with just seconds remaining, and LA won it by a single point, 90-89. Of course, it could have gone in anyway. We're back after the break, and the rest of these scores from
away recently. Hearn would have been happy to see the Lakers back at their best following the return of Shaquille O'Neal. This guy has made a huge difference since he's come back. The Lakers were 3-9 before Shaq returned from a toe injury. No such problems now. Shaq doing it all night long. Ray Allen. This spells trouble for the Bucks. He injures his ankle, would not return after leaving the game. That helped the Lakers go on to get a comfortable victory. Derek Fisher finds Shaquille O'Neal, 24 points, 11 rebounds for him. Kobe Bryant, meanwhile, did his thing. He had it tough when Shaq was out. The offense revolved around him. Kobe's now passing the ball a lot more. He had a triple-double on Sunday night, 15 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists. The Lakers winning it by...
Courtside for Philadelphia's match with New Orleans last night. He'd surely like to take his point guard Allen Iverson to Athens, especially if his skill like that. And Brian Skinner made the most of it with a great two-handed slam. Here's Skinner again in the second quarter with a great block, and he tips it to Eric Snow, who drives the lane and gets the lay-in. Philadelphia are unbeaten at home this season, but the Hornets pushed them. Late in the second, Baron Davis kicks it out to Jamal Mashburn, who drains the three-pointer, and they trail by 10 points. But the Sixers were too much for New Orleans. Iverson led 6 other players in shooting double figures. That's Snow again with his own rebound. And Iverson almost shot 30 for the 5th consecutive game. But in the end, 25 points were more than good enough for the win. Philly are now 8-0 at home this season. The Phoenix Suns rookie Amari Stoudemire had a big night against the Milwaukee Bucks on Monday. The 19-year-old forward played like an all-star. You're watching the pick of his baskets in each of the first 3 quarters here. Stoudemire finished with 15 points and 13 rebounds. What a slam that was. They lead by 2 points at this stage. We're in the 4th quarter here, and it seems like everyone's involved. Penny Hardaway misses. Stoudemire can't follow up. That's no good from Bo Outlaw. Stoudemire has 2 more tries and eventually gets it. 3rd time lucky, off the glass, and he gets the foul too. The Suns nicked it by just 5 points in the end. Stoudemire comes up with a crucial block in the last minute. A great game for him, finished in an 86-80.
In Hawaii. Check out Travis Watson for the Cavaliers. The block and then the slam. Watson showing both his defensive and offensive skills in the same play. He picks up the World Sport Play of the Day.
Here they are again in the first quarter. It's Gary Payton off the backboard to Rashard Lewis, and he buries it. Lewis was key again for the Sonics later in the period, getting the steal and passing behind his back to Predrag Drobniak for another slam. Emphatic stuff, but would it last? Seattle lead 21-15. The Blazers were looking for their 3rd consecutive win and narrowed the gap when Scottie Pippen made the alley-oop pass to Rasheed Wallace. Blazers trailed by 2. It was neck and neck all the way. We're in the second quarter here, and the Sonics reopen a 6-point lead through Barry and Des Mason. But in the third, the Blazers finally made a run for it. Ruben Patterson saves the ball to Jeff McInnes, who lays it in. The score's now 65-62 Portland. The Sonics wouldn't lie down here in the 4th, and Mason dumps a great slam on the break. Just a point in it now, but Portland took this one by 4. Arvydas Sabonis on target there. 89-85, the final score.
After going 3-10 without him, and here's Shaq with the jumper there. Lakers by 3. Later in the first, the Heat turn it on. Eddie Jones feeding Mike James for the 3-ball. And we're tied at 23 apiece. Second quarter, Heat by 5 off the inbounds pass. Jones gets the nice lay-in. Heat by 7 now. Third quarter, the Heat's LaFonso Ellis working it in the paint. And that puts Miami up by 9. Fourth quarter. The Heat looking to seal the win. And it's Jones with the big three en route to a 97-85 Miami victory. In other NBA action, the streaking Sacramento Kings sought their 6th consecutive win at the expense of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Chris Webber throwing down the slam, Kings by 2. Webber here showing off some more moves there with a fake. Behind the back pass to Doug Christie. He nails the reverse lane, Kings by 3. Later in the 4th, Gerald Wallace with the putback as he falls to the floor, and his teammates love that. They'd also love a 91-85 Kings victory.
Mavericks take another step nearer the magic number of 15. Stay here with us on World Sport. He inspired them to a thumping victory over the Detroit Pistons. He scored a career-high 42 points and was simply unstoppable against the league's best defensive team. The Mavericks, led by just the 2 points at the first quarter buzzer. Corliss Williamson landed one just in time for the Pistons. But Dallas are a team exuding confidence from every pore at the moment, winning games by an average of more than 15 points. They thrashed Detroit 9 days ago, and Finley added even more misery there, getting the foul too. Dirk Nowitzki played through an Achilles ankle strain to score 22 points in a 20-point win. It's Indiana next to match the record. LA and Orlando were both at full strength for this one in Florida. Former Magic center Shaquille O'Neal getting back into the groove after his toe operation, but Tracy McGrady grabbed the headlines, playing through back spasms to land 38 points and help snap a 7-game losing streak against the Lakers. Kobe Bryant matched that performance with 38 of his own. We're in the second quarter here, and he finishes with a slam to narrow the gap to 4 points. The triple champions, LA, didn't lose their 11th game until January last season, but they couldn't avoid it on Wednesday night. Like McGrady, Grant Hill played through the pain barrier to land 9 points. Mike Miller was on form too. We're in the last quarter here, and he nails a 3 to put the Magic up by 11. But we'll leave the last word to McGrady. A great night for him as Orlando beat LA for the first time since February 1998.
The two men together, though, as they were never on court at the same time. Here's the big man, though. Yao going baseline for the slam. 14 points in the first 16 minutes. Rockets by 1 at the half. Fourth quarter, Rockets by 7. Houston, Steve Francis shows off some nice dribbling. Goes up and under for the reverse layup. Worth another look. Francis with 14 points, 9 rebounds and 7 assists in a 91-84 Rockets win.
And record breakers or heartbreakers? Could the Mavericks match NBA history on a tough trip to Indiana? But Don Nelson's team just ran out of steam. The Pacers opened up an 11-point lead here in the final quarter after Reggie Miller found himself totally open to shoot a 3. Dallas couldn't get any closer than 8 points in the entire second half. Steve Nash was the only Maverick truly on form. He landed 29 points, but his big 3 mates, Dirk Nowitzki and Michael Finley, really struggled. Indiana had all the incentive they need to knock Dallas off their stride. Jermaine O'Neal led 6 players to double figures. The man himself sunk 28 points with 18 rebounds. The scramble here ended up with O'Neal getting the tip in. And there's no doubt that the Pacers season so far has been overshadowed by what Dallas have accomplished, but the Eastern Conference leaders sent a big message out with this 12-point victory. Ron Artest finishing up with a slam and getting the foul. The only other game on Thursday night for the third and final time after this season to resume his role as partial owner of the Washington Wizards. The 6-time world champion told the Washington Post there's 0 chance of him coming back. He will, of course, be 40 years old in February.